We have started. Well, 4 o'clock we've started. Can I thank you for tuning in to this second of our prologues to the English cantos, the great project that we're going to be running in June, and we're just kind of doing warm-ups by doing these Saturday sessions. So welcome, come on in to our family home. It's great to see you. I am pleased to tell you that last week we had over 300 viewings of the recording, the simple, short, 16-minute recording that we made of the poetry. So that was absolutely fabulous. And we got some people that we didn't know as well as some friends that we did know. So I'm really pleased by that. One of my friends from America, Evan Mantic, tuned in, who's the editor of the Society of Classical Poets. Hi Evan, if you're watching this. He said to me he particularly enjoyed the fact that I read a little bit of Italian from Dante's original Divine Comedy. So I thought, well, why not? I gave a stanza last time, why not do the next stanza in the sequence? And then this is going to take me a lot of Saturdays to finish the whole poem, but just a little bit to get it sort of warmed up. And special thanks, of course, to my dear friend, Professor Antonino Chiariamonte, who is he's an Italian expert. So, stanza 2, canto 1 from the Inferno. Quanto a dir qual era e cosa dura esta selva selvaggia e aspra e forte che nel pensier rinnova la paura. Oh, how hard a thing it is to tell what it was like, this wild, rough forest, difficult to traverse, the thought of which brings back my fear. La paura, the fear. So, Dante in our minds. One of the other wonderful things that happened last week as a result of the recording was my friend Chrissy Laban was also tuned in to watch this. And Chrissy, you'll find her on Facebook, was one of the 2 surgeons who in 2011 saved my life when I went into the Royal Bournemouth Hospital with cancer. So thank you, Chrissy Laban, and thank you for enjoying the recording so much. And that brings me back to first causes, doesn't it? Because here we are thinking about the English cantos that we're coming to be doing in June. And I read last week from the Divine Comedies, the lyrics I had written based on the Divine Comedy, but that really wasn't the start. In fact, one of the starting points of this whole sequence of poems was coming out of hospital, having had my life saved by Chrissy Laban, who actually features in the Inside the Well, but there's a picture of her in the book, and writing poems about the cancer, the near-death experience, and what happened to me inside the hospital. So I thought today what I would do is I would revisit Inside the Whale. Inside the Whale, incidentally, being a metaphor for Jonah was inside the whale for 3 days and nights. I was inside Royal Bournemouth Hospital for 3 months. So it's a kind of parallel situation where you disappear from normal existence. You go into the bowels of the earth, as it were, and when you come out on the other side of it all, you're a different man. So that's what happened to me. That's what these poems on Inside the Whale are all about. And I would like to read you 2 poems now from this collection. And the first poem is called The Like Poem. And one of the most wonderful things about being in hospital, not that it was wonderful, of course, it was pretty horrifying, but one of the wonderful things was, of course, is the love that people share with you when you are seriously, seriously ill and possibly going to die. And for me, if you had said to me before I went into the hospital, could you love your wife Linda anymore? The answer would have been, well, no, I love her 100%. I couldn't love her more. But by the time I came out of the hospital 3 months later, I absolutely did love her more, because her dedication to me through this process was absolutely incredible. And not only was it incredible, but of course it was part of the process which helped me to heal and to be here today. So this Like poem, the Like poem, is dedicated for Linda. Like land receiving rain, like clouds inhaling steam, like dogs snatching a bone. Enough! are my dream. Like locks who feel their key, like ships who see their port, like cats who find their lap, so you are every thought. Like flowers in the sun, like fish which swarm the sea, like God who loves and loves, and so my love's to me. Thank you. A like poem for Linda. And just to finish with one more poem from Inside the Whale, I would like to read you now a poem which I chose particularly because it seems so relevant to where we are today with COVID-19 and lockdown. Because the poem is called Do Not Let Your Hope. So a message we must all go on about time and time again to remind ourselves and to hypnotise ourselves into believing is we mustn't let our hope ever diminish or go down. And when I was in hospital, I had that hope that one day I would escape, I would come out, I would live again and breathe the air and see the sun. So do not let your hope. Do not let your hope burn dim, or let yourself to not be you. Insist all times you have your faith, and will, like snake's skin, soul renew. Moth-eaten butterflies all fail, not floating on the spirit's breeze, their beauty warped, direction skewed, landlocked like flight was some disease. But you are better. Make the leap. To love life fully is to die. And in that dark unknowable, yourself becomes the cloudless sky. And so today, my last poem returns to the Divine Comedies. These lyrics based on Dante's great, great epic poem. And I told you last time that this book is divided into 3 sections to mirror Dante, the hell, the purgatory and the heaven. And the last poem in the purgatory section, which is called Out of Purgatory, is based on a very specific incident that occurs in Dante's Purgatory. In fact, in Dante's Purgatory, Canto 5, where a remarkable event happens. A quite evil character who spent his life doing bad stuff has entered into a battle, lost the battle, and is on the run and is being hunted down by his enemies. And they find him in this marshy area and they kill him. And shortly before they kill him, he's blinded and he falls over. But here's the remarkable thing about the story. As he just begins to fall, realising he's about to die, he calls out one word. He calls out Mary, the Virgin Mary's name. And he does it not just as a repetitive sort of rote thing, he does it as an act of faith. And because of that act of faith, as he dies, the good and the bad angels want his soul. But the good angels prevail because of that one act of faith. Like the thief on the cross in the Gospels. And so Dante writes, "There I went blind. I could no longer speak, but as I died, I murmured Mary's name, and there I fell and left my empty flesh. Now hear the truth. Tell it to living men. God's angel took me up, and hell's fiend cried, 'Oh, you from heaven, why steal what is mine?'" Can you see? The devil thought he was entitled to the soul, but that one act saved him. Out of purgatory. I went blind first, then not to speak. The fate so human for us all. Only my mind's left to complain. No words to say, but hopeless, weak. And then, inevitable, death. I died as everyone who lives. What was the point, and why such pain? If soon no more, why waste that breath? Down to nothing, down to dirt's floor. And yet, in one split second see something ominous again, which threatens to undo my core. And then I heard somehow a voice say, in a way I hadn't heard before, thoughts full eclipse and drain, one word: Linda, my true love's choice. Thank you for tuning in. Come again next week. Come again to the Image Cantos, and we'll all see each other when this COVID-19 is over.